This is a little thing I like to call MLB rants. If you are new to this channel, first things first, these are only my opinions. They are not universally correct. If you want to form your own opinions, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, make sure you put that down in the comment section. And if there is something that happens next week that you want me to go over, also put that in the comment section below, and it might even make an appearance in next week's episode. It's getting pretty exciting in the MLB. We're gonna go over a few things this episode that I've gone over in the past. Some things coming up that are also really exciting, really fun stuff, really interesting stuff, and let's just get straight into it. This is MLB Rants 2021 season, episode 11. The first thing that I need to address is the maniac down in Houston. What the people like to call him is Mattress Mike. Mattress Mike is a mattress store owner from Houston. And what he likes to do is he likes to bet on the Houston teams. He did it with the March Madness this year. He put all his money into the Houston Wildcats and they ended up losing. So he lost a bunch of money. Now he's back again, and what he's done is he's put in a $3.25 million bid on the Astros winning the World Series, which is pretty remarkable. You can kind of understand why he did it now at this point, especially when you're looking at where the Astros are at right now. They're looking pretty good. They are second in overall standings, just behind the Giants. Granted, they've played the Orioles, they've played the Twins, and they're about to get into their series against the Tigers as I'm recording this. They have beat some pretty good teams. They played the White Sox and beat them soundly. They played the Red Sox and the Blue Jays, who are also some pretty big powerhouses this year, and they beat them as well. So the Astros are looking pretty good as of right now, and it really is very coincidental that Mattress Mike puts his bets in as the Astros basically top up the MLB standings. The Astros aren't that team this year. They lost some value last year, especially in George Springer, who's been on and off the Blue Jays with injuries. I mean, they play in the same division as the Athletics, who've proved to be a really big challenge for them. And just, if the Astros don't win the AL West, I don't really think they'll actually get the wild card spot. The AL East is really something to look at. The wild card team for the AL is definitely going to be coming from the AL East one way or another. And I feel like the Astros can't hold off the Athletics long enough to actually win the AL West. But Mattress Mike might have a little bit of magic here. They might win it, who knows? But in my opinion, I really don't think that's the case. So, yeah. A pretty big milestone in baseball history is going to be hit this summer. Usually for the All-Star game, you'll have the players wearing like their individual jerseys. You'll see a Pirates player wearing their traditional Pirates jersey. You'll see an Astros player, a Dodgers player, Padres player, Red Sox player, White Sox player, Royals player, like whoever it is. They might like have their own spin on the jersey. And you know, they always have their own custom hats for the All-Star games. But when it comes to the jerseys, it's really just the players pulling up to the field with the jersey that they would usually wear in a regular game. This year, however, is the first year where every player will be getting a designated jersey. So instead of just going to the All-Star game with their regular uniform that they would use during the regular season, instead what they'll be doing is using uniforms that have been designed by Nike, and they're going to be playing with those. And there's the AL uniform, and then there's the NL uniform, because that's the All-Star game. I just gotta say that it's the ugliest thing I have ever seen in my life. I would have expected more from Nike. Honestly, I would have expected more from Nike. The color scheme, I don't get. And a lot of the things on there, I don't get. And maybe they'll explain it, maybe they won't, but as of right now, I don't get anything about any of these jerseys. A little bit of background information. They're playing the All-Star game this year in Colorado, home of the Colorado Rockies, who traditionally wear purple, black, and white. Those are their colors. Those are like the colors that the Rockies wear. And for me, when they announced that they were gonna have designated jerseys for everyone, I thought that incorporating that purple, just incorporating the color purple would be really interesting. And I had really high hopes for Nike to do something, like special with it. And honestly, they've just disappointed me. And I feel like they've disappointed a lot of people. I haven't really heard a lot of feedback on it, but they look terrible. They really look terrible. On screen, you can see some visuals. You can see the jerseys, you can see the hats. You've got all your AL jerseys here, and then you've got all your NL jerseys. The navy blue is really throwing me off, and the red is throwing me off too. And where do those colors even come from? We're gonna get a nice little close-up on the uniforms right here. That's a floral cuff design, right? It's like a Hawaiian shirt right about now. That's a floral cuff design that Nike said, hey, that's a great idea. We'll do pink for AL and we'll do blue for NL. You look at the Red Sox jersey and you look at the Brewers jersey, and for whatever reason, they're just different colored logos. Whereas for the Red Sox, every other logo is white. But for the Brewers, every other logo is blue and they're white. So it's just, that doesn't make sense. And they decided to put the American flag on every jersey. The problem with that is that we have a team from Toronto that isn't an American team, they're a Canadian team. And they're gonna be repping the American flag during the All-Star game, apparently. That's like having a team from Japan and putting an American flag on their baseball uniform. It doesn't make any sense. And then also the lettering, like the abbreviations that Nike has put into the jerseys. I will admit they are kind of interesting, but it makes the jerseys seem really old-fashioned. What I would love to see is if they were gonna do that, then they should surely put the old MLB logos that every team used, like the original logo that every team used. Because that would have been great to see, and I feel like you would have had a lot of buyers. Sure, the color scheme might be off, but the logos would look great. I look at the Tampa Bay Rays abbreviation for it, and it's TBR, but everyone is used to TB for their abbreviation. So it's not a big thing. It messes with me a little bit. And it just makes it seem so old-fashioned. It kind of makes it seem like, like a 1920 style. Like it's really like back in the day. Like the letters just like going down the jersey. Like you don't see that on jerseys at all. Like not even for high school teams or college teams. They don't even do that. So I don't really get the concept of that. With that said, I have gone out of my way to fix the All-Star jerseys. The All-Star uniform. I've gone out of my way to fix that. I fixed the NL and I fixed the AL and I fixed the hats. I'm only using the the close-up examples that they use so that we can really get into the nitty-gritty part of it, not like all the jerseys, because all the jerseys are the same. So just replacing colors with another color is what we're kind of going for. The first thing I want to focus on is the hat. This is the picture of the hat that they are going to use in the All-Star game. And this is the hat that I designed. I honestly like this design more. I really don't understand why the red is being implemented into this. I don't get why red has any significance to this All-Star game whatsoever. And I feel like replacing that red with purple really, it really makes it pop out a lot more. There's barely any, this is the only purple on the entire jersey when they're playing in Colorado, where purple is like the #1 color for the Rockies. And I just thought, surely you would implement that. Moving on from the hats, these were the original jerseys. We've got the Tampa Bay Rays as representing the AL jerseys, and we have the Colorado Rockies representing the NL jerseys. So these are the jerseys that they are going to be wearing in the All-Star game. And these are the jerseys that I designed that I think that they should wear during the All-Star game. The AL jersey has a lot of purple, but I feel like the purple with the black really mixes well together. And then keeping the lettering in just because I find it somewhat interesting. Changing that to white I feel like it makes this jersey look a lot better. The American flag is now purple. I'm not saying that like resembles anything. I'm just, because they were switching up the American flag because it was red in the beginning and I changed it to purple. So I think the AL jersey looks really good now with all the black accents and the all-around purple. And then for the NL jerseys, you've of course got all white with the purple and black accents. You've got the black American flag, you've got the purple cuffs and lettering, and then you've got the logo in black and white. This is my way of fixing it. So yeah, I think this looks really good. I think the purple looks really good. I like the purple. I spent like quite a bit of time on it, and I'm pretty proud of what I was able to come up with and the accents and the different colorings. And it's a lot of purple, but I feel like it needs to be a lot of purple since it's Colorado, it's the Rockies. Like, they don't even wear this much purple, and that kind of disappoints me because they're the only team that has purple, and I feel like you should use that. Next year can be a lot better because they're going to LA next year, so maybe they can implement something there, but at the end of the day it'll probably be the blue. So yeah, that's my concept of the All-Star jerseys and how they should be fixed. The last and final thing that I need to go over, and something that I've been going over for the past 3 weeks, is foreign substances. Last week, I talked about how the MLB finally put the 10-game suspension in play. There were a lot of pitchers like Tyler Glasnow, Garrett Cole, and Trevor Bauer who kind of pushed this rule to limits that weren't really necessary. It was as if they were confused about what the rule really was and how, the MLB should be really careful for what they're trying to say, because a guy who's on the mound that's not cheating could be called out for cheating when, the things that they are doing is cheating. And in order to do that, you can't just be on the mound and doing your thing and then that kind of grip happens. Now the rules finally being put into play, and pitchers are being checked every other kind of inning, every 2 innings maybe. There are some pitchers that are really not like this whatsoever, and now the fact that it is being put in play, there are more pitchers complaining about it, which makes no sense. Like, it was already agreed upon. It's not like once they made the decision that the 10-game suspension was going to be a thing, it's not like they're going to change their minds on that. So I don't get why pitchers are kind of surprised that this is now a thing. And the big reason why I'm pointing this out is because of what happened to Max Scherzer in his game against the Phillies. Max Scherzer was doing pretty well. He just came off the IL. It was his first game back. And, he's pitching well. They check him after the innings. They check him after the first inning. And you can tell that he's clearly not too pleased about it. He seems kind of like mad about it. He doesn't really like being checked because it's a thing of, oh, well, I know that I'm not cheating, so why are you checking me? But it's gone to a point now where, well, we don't know who's cheating because you guys have cheated for decades now, and, we can't trust anybody. Later on in the game, the manager for the Phillies, Joe Girardi, decided that he wanted the umpires to just make sure that Max Scherzer wasn't using any illegal substances during the game. So instead of having them check, he called the umpires and said that he wanted them to check Scherzer in the middle of an inning. And so Scherzer, of course, was really mad about this, and he, started like taking off his hat, taking off his glove, even started unbuckling his pants. He, was telling like the umpire to like touch my hair and all this kind of stuff. And he went back to the dugout, and then there was a whole thing between the Nationals and the Phillies while they were in the dugout, and Joe Girardi got thrown out because he was trying to pick a fight with one of the Nationals coaches. After all of it, Girardi came back and said that he didn't realize that he offended anybody. He was, like apologetic about it. He didn't realize that, that this would be like the big deal that it is now. He just wanted to make sure ultimately. He could be lying about that. He could not be lying about that. But the thing that I really want to focus on is what the players are saying. One player in particular, Clayton Kershaw, in a post-game interview, the reason why Max Scherzer, he was basically vouching for Max Scherzer. And what Clayton Kershaw said was, oh, well, I know the reason why Max Scherzer was mad. And clearly the reason why Max Scherzer was mad was because the umpires checking for foreign substances really messes with a pitcher's rhythm. Honestly, you can't even make that argument when there are countless amount of delays during the game and not a single pitcher has ever talked about rhythm during any of those things. Like, for instance, you have a play where an umpire calls a runner safe when he's out, and they go to review that. That's delaying the game. That could ruin your rhythm, but they don't say anything about that. And when the umpires were checking Max Scherzer for foreign substances, it's not like it lasted for 10 minutes. They went up to the mound, they basically touched him where they thought sticky substances could be, even the top of his head, found nothing, and carried on with the game. It's not like they were standing there just trying to, look at him up and down, trying to figure out, oh, well, where would he hide foreign substances? No, they were just there, patting around, making sure there's nothing sticky, and then continued on with the rest of the game. Like, compare that to when an umpire reviews a play. Surely them reviewing the play is always going to be much longer than them just checking to make sure if they've got any foreign substances. Pitching coaches will come up to the mound to buy the guy who's in the bullpen time to warm up. That's a delay of game for the hitters. And the only reason why there's a guy in the bullpen is because the hitters clearly have some rhythm going on. But you don't hear them complaining about rhythm, yet they've had to deal with it because that's perfectly legal. I said it last week that the pitchers are acting so unprofessional, so childish about something being done, about them cheating, about them doing something that is illegal. The MLB saw a problem and they fixed it. Yet a lot of pitchers are having a huge fight about, oh, well, it's not fair. It's not fair, but you're cheating. You're cheating. What do you expect? You finally get caught out on something, and now it's like the unfairest thing to ever happen in the world of baseball, which is pathetic, childish, immature. These are professionals. This is what they do. They shouldn't need foreign substances to throw a fastball, to throw a curveball, slider, knuckleball, a slurve, a cutter, any type of ball. They don't need foreign substances for that. The laces are there for a reason. It's not like they're just throwing a sphere. They've got a rosin pack up there, which is meant for grip. It's not like they're just on their own trying to figure stuff out. No, they cheated the game. And MLB did something about that, and now these pitchers have such a problem with that, which makes no sense. You look at Shohei Ohtani, and when he was getting checked during his game on Wednesday against the Giants, he was having a laugh with the umpires. He was joking around with them while he's checking them, like laughing and stuff. He clearly doesn't mind the rules. How come he doesn't mind the rules when he's one of the best pitchers in the league right now? Yet Max Scherzer, who's been on the IL this year, is hating it so much, and the same thing with Clayton Kershaw. It's kind of a coincidence that both Max Scherzer and Clayton Kershaw are two of the not so great pitchers this year, yet Shohei Ohtani, who is basically on top of the MLB, is just having a laugh with the umpires while they're checking him. Really goes to show how bad these pitchers are. It's like, wow, you're mad because you're bad. I mean, that's it. That's the bottom line. There's nothing else besides that. Shohei Ohtani doesn't mind. He said, you want to see my hat? Here's my hat. You want to see my glove? Here's my glove. Oh, by the way, why did the chicken cross the road? That's what happened right there. It's crazy how this is happening. How one simple rule can really shine a light on some of the pitchers that a lot of MLB fans look up to. Because now we know that you're cheating. MLB pitchers, again, last week I said it, be better. Just accept it. It's not going to change. They already made the decision. So accept the fact. That is it for this week's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it a lot, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and also hit the subscribe button and turn on that bell for push notifications so that you always get that notification when I upload. I upload on a weekly basis every Friday. Throughout this video, if there's something that you agreed with or disagreed with, make sure you put that in the comment section below. If there's something that happens next week that you would like me to go over, also put that in the comment section below, and it might even make an appearance in next week's episode. I know I've been going over the same thing for 4 weeks now, but hopefully it'll change. The All-Star Game's coming up. I'm hoping that, some pretty good things will happen then. I might be able to cover some things, and it can be an overall good few weeks during that whole All-Star break. We're getting towards the middle of the season. We'll hopefully do some analyzing of how well every team is doing, where they might end up. I might designate an episode for that, who knows? You'll find out. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.